Equestrians, and welcome back to another video. I'm Lisa, the Budget Equestrian. Welcome to my channel. And right now we are way far deep into our Confident Rider Challenge. We've been working on this now for like 20 some days, right? If you're doing this challenge and you're just getting back into the saddle, listen to your body and don't overdo it. If you plan on riding for 10-15 minutes and you're wiped out, that's a good point to stop. And then maybe the next day, don't plan on riding, but plan on doing more groundwork with your horse. And like I said, throughout this whole challenge, the main thing that's going to help you build a relationship with your horse and help with your confidence, it's not getting out there and just tackling the things that scare you or frighten you. It's just being consistent and working with your horse each and every day. And yes, we all need days off once in a while, but when it comes to our horses, when we give them a day off and then we come back, it's basically like we're kind of starting over again, and you have to restart where you were a couple of days prior to giving them a day off, which is why I really like to do something with my horses every day. Okay, so that was kind of a long intro into what today's video topic is going to be about, which is today we're going to work on using ground poles while we're in the saddle. And earlier in the challenge, we did work on incorporating some ground poles into our lunging and groundwork with our horses. So now we're just going to step it up a notch, and we're going to add some ground poles to the actual riding work that we're doing with our horses. And for me, I am going to be doing most of this walking to give my muscles time to build up to where they were before I had surgery. And for me, it helps me to do the slower gaits, so walking and trotting, and then building up to the faster gaits. The more I do it walk and trot, the more confident and comfortable I feel when we get up to cantering. So Frisbee is going to be my companion for the day while we get started with our ground poles. I've been leaving ground poles in my arena while I'm doing this challenge. So on one end of my arena, I have one ground pole. And then on the other end of the arena, I have 3 poles set up, and these are set up as trot poles, but I find that I can still go over them with Frisbee as walk poles. And what I want to do is just go over the poles, and I like to go over the poles in each direction. So one lap, I might go over just the single pole. The next lap around the arena, I might go over the single pole, and then the 3 poles. And then I will go about halfway down my arena and turn and change direction. And then I will go back over the 3 poles, and then I will go back over the single pole. And something else that's really fun is to set up a lot of poles down the center of your arena if you have it. So what I've done here is I've set up a lot of poles down the center of the arena. And right now I'm just walking Frisbee over and through these poles. But eventually I do want to build him up to trotting down the poles. That would be pretty fun to be able to set up 20 poles and trot through the entire distance of the poles. That's going to really help your horse to pick up his feet, to engage his hind end. It helps him balance, and it also builds strength. Poles are fantastic for strength building for your horse, and I think they're also actually really good for us as riders too. And then after you've gone over your poles in both directions of the arena, however you have them set up, I'm going back to my poles that I have in the center of my arena. And not only am I going to go down the poles, down the center in both directions, but then you can also add different pattern work to the poles that are set up. You can do a serpentine type fashion, or you can incorporate just 2 poles. You can do a figure 8. There are just so many different exercises that you can work on with your horse with poles that will keep you engaged into what you're working on, and it also helps to create some interest for your horse. So I love doing pole work. It's fun. And sometimes I will actually even set up some poles so that they kind of mimic what a jump course would be. Now I know it's not the same going over a pole on the ground versus going over a jump. But if you have poles set up, like even 7 or 8 poles, you can make a pattern or a course of what you want to do. So you could take different color poles and make them basically corresponding jumps. You can set them up in any fashion that you want. And this is something actually that my riding instructor has done with me a lot, especially when we got towards the end of my lessons, is you're going to go to the red jump first, then you're going to go to the green one, then you're going to go to the blue one, then you're going to go to the skinny one. She still referred to them as jumps because they were poles on the ground, but the standards were on the sides. This is really helpful and beneficial, especially if you are going to be jumping in the future, because it starts you thinking of how you're going to memorize your course. So for today's challenge, what I want you to do is get some ground poles, get out there and ride your horse over the ground poles. And if you aren't comfortable riding, then lead your horse over the poles or do the trot poles, whatever you have, whatever you feel like doing. Just the fact that you're getting out there and working with your horse every single day is going to help give you the confidence that you need to move up in your riding and your relationship with your horse. Thanks again for watching my video today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can see all of the videos in the Confident Rider Challenge. And if you'd like to join me on my podcast, I have that too. It's on iTunes and Stitcher, and it's Budget Equestrian, the podcast. Again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.